Of the victim, the youngest victim of a 2022 triple murder, is plagued by unanswered questions that they say make no sense in the killing of their teenage son. KB Reidenbach was a freshman in high school from Franklin Township when he was found shot to death, along with two men in a van parked in a Northside Indy neighborhood a little over 2 years ago. In tonight's Indy Unsolved, CBS 4's Russ McQuaid returns to the scene of the crime and probes a murder mystery that defies explanation.
It's the 3500 block of Caroline Avenue. It's 15 miles away from where 15-year-old Cabello KB Reidenbach lived with his family. He didn't have a car, he didn't have ID, and his family says he didn't have a reason to be here. Eric Reidenbach spends every day working out solutions to other people's problems.
I don't know.
But he's dumbfounded to explain what his son was doing at 3 o'clock on the morning of May 3rd, 2022 in a silver van with two men, ages 31 and 25, all three shot to death on a street far from his home.
I have no idea why he ended up there. I don't know the other two people that were killed. He was completely out of his element. I don't think he had a clue. I think if he would have been wandering around up there, I don't think he would have had a clue how to get home.
KB was brought home to Franklin Township from an orphanage in Lesotho in southern Africa in 2010. He wasn't quite yet 4 years old.
He was ready to go. He was trying to get in the car. He sat on my lap in the car. He whimpered a little bit as we drove away from basically the only place he remembered knowing.
KB grew up as an American boy in Indianapolis, but with roots in another world.
I think he was confused about who he was, where he came from, why was he here. I think he was trying to learn all that.
Where he fit in.
KB attended Franklin Central High School, and friends say he was racially bullied in the school cafeteria the day before he died.
The last day he was at school, we were told after he was killed, one of his friends told us that there was some guys in the cafeteria that were throwing food at him and making racial slurs towards him. So,
And I wonder if that pushed him to leave.
Yeah, I don't know if he wanted to go to school the next day or not because of that.
KB's family is mystified about how their son met up with, as far as they knew, two adult strangers in a Northside neighborhood known for violence.
It's one of the unknowns.
IMPD is wondering that too, now that the Caroline Avenue triple murder file has been handed over to a detective who works only unsolved cases.
There's not a lot. We've made some progress in the case, which I'm cautiously optimistic about. And that's why, giving it sometimes fresh eyes, the detectives on the case had done a really good job up to this point. They had really moved the case forward.
KB's parents say their son's friends are moving on, living their best teenage lives, while all they've got is a box of ashes on a shelf outside his bedroom.
He was robbed of his future.
I think KB trusted me more than any other person. And I feel like I failed him because I brought him here for a better life and he ended up murdered.
I told Lisa Reidenbach she didn't fail her son. She gave him a better life than he could have ever dreamed of having back where he came from. The people who failed him were the people who killed him, and the two adults in the car who should have known better. With Indy Unsolved, I'm Russ McQuaid.